The Debt Trap, How Nations Get Caught in Trap. Athens, 2010. Banks are shut. ATMs are empty. Pensions are slashed. On the streets, thousands are irrioting. Greece, birthplace of democracy, is begging for bailouts. But Greece is not unique. Argentina, Venezuela, Rome, even mighty empires all fell into the same trap. Debt. Here's the chilling truth. Nations don't collapse in a single night. They collapse step by step, caught in a cycle of borrowing that looks safe at first, but always ends the same way, with crisis. The pattern is simple. 1. Governments borrow for wars, for elections, for free benefits. 2. At first, life feels good. More jobs, more projects, more promises. 3. But debt never sleeps. Interest piles up. Payments grow. Soon, more money goes to lenders than to citizens. 4. To escape, nations borrow again, digging deeper into the trap. It's the same as a family living on credit cards. At first, it feels like free money. But one day, the bill arrives, and it's bigger than anyone can pay. And when nations hit that point, their assaults are brutal. Banks close their doors. Savings vanish overnight. Prices skyrocket. Ordinary people pay for mistakes they never made. That's the debt trap. And history proves no empire, no democracy, no superpower is safe from it. In this video, we'll uncover how nations fall into the trap, why they can't escape, and what happens when the trap finally snaps shut. Because the question isn't just how Greece fell. It's this: could the next nation in crisis be yours? The lure of easy money. Every debt trap begins with something that feels good. Easy money. Governments borrow for all the right reasons. At least, that's what they say. To defend the nation. To build roads, schools, and hospitals. To fund pensions and welfare. To create jobs. To promise a better tomorrow. And at first, it works. Borrowed money flows like fresh water into a dry riverbed. Businesses thrive. Construction booms. Politicians win applause. Citizens feel richer. But here's the dangerous illusion. Borrowed money feels like real wealth, but it's not. It's like running faster on a treadmill. You feel the motion, but you're not moving forward. The problem is governments don't stop. Wars demand more, elections demand more. People get used to free benefits, and every leader knows one thing: it's easier to borrow than to tell voters no. Rome did it. Emperors funded circuses and grain for the people with borrowed silver. France did it before the revolution. America does it today with trillion-dollar deficits. The cycle never changes. At first, lenders are happy. They believe the nation is strong, so they keep lending. The economy swells. Citizens cheer. It feels like prosperity. But hidden beneath the celebration is the trap. Each loan adds to the mountain. Each promise must be repaid. And interest never sleeps. Imagine a nation earning $100, but spending $120 every year. The missing $20 is borrowed. Next year, it's borrowed again, plus interest. Soon the debt grows faster than the income. And just like a family with too many credit cards, the nation is sprinting toward the cliff, smiling the whole way. Easy money feels like power, but history shows it's only the first step into weakness, because one day lenders stop smiling. They demand higher interest. They demand control. And that's when the trap begins to tighten. The trap tightens. Debt is like a silent predator. At first, it hides in the shadows. Then slowly, it begins to squeeze. As loans pile up, interest payments grow larger every year. What once paid for schools and soldiers now goes straight to creditors. Instead of serving their citizens, nations serve their lenders. This is the turning point, when debt grows faster than the economy. Imagine a family earning $50,000 a year, but $20,000 goes just to interest on old loans. They're working, but they'll never escape. That's exactly what happens to nations caught in the trap. History is full of examples. In Greece, more money was leaving the country in interest payments than staying to help its people. In Argentina, every new loan was swallowed by old debts. Even mighty Rome found itself trapped, paying soldiers with promises instead of silver. And when lenders sense weakness, they strike. They demand higher interest. They raise conditions. Privatize your industries, cut your spending, raise taxes. Nations lose freedom little by little until sovereignty itself feels borrowed. For ordinary citizens, the trap is brutal. Taxes rise. Jobs vanish. Governments slash pensions and healthcare to appease lenders. Families who once dreamed of prosperity now fear survival. And here's the cruel irony. The more a nation cuts, the weaker its economy becomes. Less spending means fewer jobs. Fewer jobs mean less growth. And less growth makes the debt burden even heavier. It's a vicious cycle, a downward spiral. The trap tightens with every turn. By this stage, the nation is no longer in control. Debt controls the nation. And history shows there's only one destination left: collapse. Collapse. Every debt trap has an end game. At first, it's slow and invisible, but then, suddenly, it snaps shut. Banks close their doors. ATMs run dry. Savings accounts are frozen. And ordinary people, who never borrowed a cent from foreign lenders, pay the heaviest price. Greece 2010. Elderly pensioners lined up at shuttered banks, begging for cash that wasn't there. Hospitals ran short of medicine. Families survived on soup kitchens while politicians argued in marble halls. In Argentina 2001, banks froze deposits in a move called the Corralito. People couldn't withdraw their own money. Riots broke out. Presidents resigned in disgrace. Trust in government never recovered. Rome, centuries earlier. The empire's debt spiral left soldiers unpaid, farms abandoned, and cities starving. By the time invaders arrived, Rome had already collapsed from within. And here's the most brutal truth. Debt doesn't just destroy money. It destroys trust. Once people lose trust in their leaders, in their banks, in their currency, collapse is inevitable. The trap isn't just financial, it's psychological. For ordinary citizens, collapse feels like betrayal. Savings vanish overnight. Taxes rise even higher. Inflation eats whatever's left. And suddenly, survival, not prosperity, becomes the national goal. By now, the nation has lost control. Lenders dictate policy. International institutions like the IMF demand austerity. Currencies are devalued. Imports dry up. Streets fill with anger. Collapse doesn't happen in silence. It happens in protests, in riots, in broken promises, in families losing everything. And history leaves no doubt. Once trust is gone, collapse spreads like fire. But here's the question that matters most. If Rome, Greece, and Argentina couldn't escape the trap, can any modern nation? Modern parallels. So what does the debt trap mean for us today? Right now, the world's nations owe more than $300 trillion. That's the highest debt in human history. The United States, Japan, China, Europe, every major economy is borrowing at record levels. At first, it feels fine. Roads get built, benefits are paid, wars are funded, politicians win elections, citizens feel safe. But remember the pattern. Borrow, spend, promise, pay interest, borrow again. That's the debt trap, and it never ends well. If Greece, Argentina, and even Rome couldn't escape, why should we believe today will be different? Already, nations spend more on interest payments than on schools, health, or defense. Already, inflation eats away at savings. Already, leaders reassure us it's under control. But history whispers a different warning. Once debt grows beyond trust, collapse is only a matter of time. Here's the truth no one wants to hear. Debt builds nations, but it also destroys them. And when collapse comes, it doesn't start with governments. It starts with ordinary families, with your bank account, with your savings, with your future. That's why we study history, because the debt trap is not just a story of Greece or Rome. It's a mirror reflecting our world today. So ask yourself, if the trap snaps again, who will pay the price? If you want to understand how nations rise, borrow, and fall, and how ordinary people can survive when the trap tightens, subscribe to Financial Nexus. Because the next great collapse, it may already be loading.